Filming in a different spot is kind of hard, so don't mind all this stuff. I'm in my office right now, so all my supplies are behind me, and it's kind of a mess, but I wanted to do this video today. If you guys watch my vlog channel, I've been saying for a while that I want to do like a multi-part video about working in retail, because I worked at the same place for like 12 years and I have so many stories, and I've seen other YouTubers do videos about like working with the public and working retail and stuff, and I really enjoy watching those videos, so hopefully this is something entertaining. If you guys like this first part, let me know and then I will know to do more, but I have stuff written down here that I wanted to like touch on and tell stories. So this first part is going to be more of like talking about the managers that I had, and this is all at the same job. I used to work at Rite Aid. I feel like I can say that now because I haven't worked there for years now. It was Brooks Pharmacy when I first started there. My first job when I turned 16 was Walmart, because they had just built a new one at the mall, like near where I lived, so like everyone my age was rushing and trying to get a job there, and I lasted like a year there. I quit working there because I got really pissed off one day. First of all, like, I don't want to make it about Walmart because this whole video is about like my 12 years at Rite Aid, but I left there, put it that way, because it was a crappy situation. But so this first video is going to be more about like my managers and getting a feel for who I worked with and everything, and then I want to do one about customers and like funny stories and everything. So the manager that was there when I got hired, I never really had an issue with her. She was nice. She was kind of like one of those managers that played favorites, like you could tell who her favorite employees were, but other than that, she wasn't that bad to work for. I believe she was there maybe 2 years before they wanted her to go to another store. And then the lady that came in after her, I have some stories about her. She was German. She had like a German accent, and all the employees like behind her back called her a Nazi because she was mean as hell. Like, she was super mean. She definitely had it out for this lady, Phyllis, that is like, I've known her for years because she worked with my mom before she went to my store and I started working with her. But she's like a second mom to me, so that's how close I am with her. But like, they did not get along. This manager had it out for her. She couldn't stand how slow she was and everything. And I mean, Phyllis is older. She has like bad knees and stuff and couldn't get down on the floor and do sale signs and everything. So they were just constantly at each other's throats. So this lady, one of the things that made me dislike her the most was whenever we had, we all had to work on Christmas Eve. That was a thing every year. We would all do like a 4-hour shift throughout the day. Everybody had to work. Apparently that rule went out the window with this lady. She didn't care about everybody works just a 4-hour shift. She put me on a 10-hour shift on Christmas Eve the year that she worked there. I was so aggravated. I'm like, I have so much stuff to do. I want to go home and get this done with. I was exhausted because Christmas Eve is one of the busiest days of the year there. So to have me on the register all that time, all I had was like my lunch break and that was it. My shoulders were sore. That's part of the reason like my shoulders and neck always hurt me now if I'm on the computer for too long, because just the repetitive motions of being on a frigging cash register all day for so many years. Let's see, that was one of the other things. When she would make Phyllis face the store, which if you work in retail, it's either like facing or fronting. You move everything on the shelves to the front to make it look full. So we would have to do that every night. Somebody would be assigned, like 1 or 2 people, to go around the entire store and do that, make sure everything looked nice for the morning. When she would have Phyllis do it, apparently it was never good enough, because she seriously one time got a ruler and showed Phyllis, like, make sure everything matches up with the ruler. It was so ridiculous. Like, that's why we called her the Nazi. Another thing that she would do to me, I don't know if she did it to anybody else, she would constantly leave me in the store alone, because I worked mornings most of the time, and I would do like, the morning shift was 8 to 4 for full-time people, or 8 to 12 for part-time. So I'd come in the morning with her, she'd do God knows what in the office, and then she would go leave and get breakfast with her boyfriend up the street, which her boyfriend was like 80-something years old. She was probably in her late 50s, early 60s, but he was really old, and she would just leave me alone in the store, which was a huge no-no for someone who was just a cashier. If I was a shift supervisor at the time, it would have been fine, but I was still only a cashier. So she was not supposed to be leaving me alone. She's lucky I never said anything, because they would have fired her on the spot. She left me with her code for the register in case anything went wrong. I could put her code in and it would look like she fixed it. It was just a huge no-no. So all of a sudden, I want to say she wasn't even there a year, she stopped showing up for work. And there would be mornings like I would get there and I couldn't open the store because nobody was there. And most of the time, like, our assistant manager would have to come in if it was his day off, or if he wasn't scheduled till later in the day. He was working 12-hour shifts from open to close because this lady was never showing up. So we found out that she had some sort of a mental breakdown, and she was in an institution, which makes sense because she was kind of crazy. So we never saw or heard from her again after that. And after her, we got a guy that was really cool. He was one of my favorite managers we ever had. We had him for like 5 years. He was really quiet at first, so a lot like me, but then once you get to know him, he was hysterical, and like, we would joke around all the time. He like actually cared about the employees and everything. There was one time that we had mice in the basement. We found this out because we brought up like a box of, it was like Hershey, like plain Hershey bars or something, and they were all like chewed on and eaten. So, like, we had employees that were scared to death of mice and they were freaking out, but I happen to like rodents and small animals. I had gerbils, I had guinea pigs, I had rabbits growing up, so they don't bother me at all. I think little baby mice, once they've passed the jelly bean stage and they have their fur, they're like the cutest things. So there was one time that we saw a couple of baby mice in the back, me and my best friend. We worked together for a while, many years. That's actually how we met each other. But it was truck day, which means we were supposed to be unloading a truck and putting everything out onto the sales floor, and we were too concerned with the mice. So we asked him if we could, if we could try to catch them and put them outside, because we didn't want them to die in the mouse traps, and he didn't care. And we were like in the back room trying to sweep them into a like a handheld, what's the word for it, like a dustpan, but it was on a stick so that you didn't have to bend over with a broom, and trying to get them in there, and we were successful. And then we like dropped them off outside up the street, and I was like, they're probably just gonna make their way back into the building, but it was hysterical. So yeah, we chased baby mice and saved them. Then he got, I want to say he was there for like 5 years, and he got transferred to another store super unexpectedly. We were all really upset because we really liked him. And then we got another manager who was really cool because he's actually Steven's like second cousin, and that was how I ended up meeting him, because he hired Andrew, which is my now brother-in-law, and that's how I got introduced to Steven. So we had him for a few years too. I'm trying to think how many, like 3 or 4. I worked with him for a while. He's actually the one that promoted me to a shift supervisor when my best friend got fired. She was the shift supervisor, and then she ended up getting fired from loss prevention because she admitted to like eating a bag of drinking like a soda or something before she had paid for it. I don't know why she ever admitted to that, but she got fired for it. So she was pissed off about that, but then I got promoted. I talked to her beforehand. I was like, hey, is it cool if I take your position? Are you going to be mad at me? And she didn't care because she was done with that place at that point. Because I know that sounds kind of shady that I took her job. But, so We never had any issues with him because we all liked working with him. He was really cool. He was another one that actually cared about employees. Like, he was awesome because he didn't really like working Sundays, and Sundays in Massachusetts anyway is time and a half. So he always gave me the Sundays because I was like, yeah, I'll work. It's time and a half. So then he also got transferred unexpectedly. We were upset about that too. We're like, what is going on? Why do they keep doing this to our managers that we actually like? And then that is when the asshole came in. That is when my least favorite manager came in. I hated him more than the Nazi lady. He was fine at first when he first came to the store. We were kind of thrown off by him a little bit because he was younger than everybody, first of all. I was like 20... How old was I at the time? 26 when he started there? And he was like 21. So we were all thrown off by having a manager that was so much younger than us. But he clearly did shady shit to get to where he was. He like totally changed when I found out I was pregnant and told him like, hey, I'm pregnant, I can't do this and this. He wouldn't let, this was a big thing with all of us because all the other employees, we were all like a family by that point, and we would work together in aisles and stuff to get stuff done quicker on truck day. Like, we'd have totes and totes of crap to put out on the sales floor, and he didn't like that. He didn't want us hanging out together outside of work, which he couldn't really control anyway. He didn't want us working together in the aisles. We all had to go in a separate aisle, which ended up taking longer because it's more fun when you have someone working next to you that you can talk to and everything. I think it was just that he hated that we were all such a tight-knit group when he came in there. But like, if he was cool, he would have just fit in with us, but he didn't because he was a jerk. He talked shit about each and every one of us behind our backs, which was a huge stupid move because of course we told each other what he was saying about everybody. And then he got pissed about that too. He was just the beginning of the end of my time there. He would leave lists for me when I was pregnant that all had to do with heavy lifting crap, like moving cases of water out of the basement. We had a conveyor belt that would bring stuff from the basement and up, and then of course vice versa, go down to the basement. But I wasn't supposed to be lifting cases of like 36 count cases of water in the first place from all the way over there to bring it up onto the conveyor to get it up and then put it on a trolley and put it out onto the sales floor. I wasn't supposed to be doing that. So then he'd get pissed if I didn't get it done. So I would have to like have one of the other employees do it for me, and then it was normally just me and a cashier on, because like I said, I would work 8 to 4, and unless it was holiday season, we weren't very busy in the mornings. So I would usually have to ask the cashier to do it, and she was a lot older than me, and I felt bad doing that, but like I wasn't supposed to be lifting super heavy stuff at 8 months pregnant. Before I went out for maternity leave, I told him that I couldn't work as many night shifts as he was putting me on, which I never had as many night shifts. I was solely like the morning person before he started there, and then he started putting me on night shifts all the time. So he didn't seem bothered by that when I first told him, because I was like, we have no babysitter, and Steven was on night shifts at the time, so I'm like, I can't work nights. I have no one that can watch my son. So when I came back, he cut my hours, which again is against the friggin' Maternity Leave Act in Massachusetts, because you're supposed to come back and have the same exact job or equal to the same job that you had when you left, meaning they can't cut your hours, they're not supposed to. Like, I could have fought this so much, but I was so sick of him at the time. I didn't have money for a lawyer and all that crap, so I just didn't want to battle it. So they cut my hours, and then he told me that they can't have part-time supervisors. Like, all of a sudden that wasn't allowed. So I had, like, he cut my hours to make me part-time and then told me I couldn't be a supervisor anymore because he cut my hours and made me part-time. So At that time, I got demoted to a cashier. I got to keep my pay, but I was still freaking pissed off because I had regular customers that knew that I could do stuff for them, and then I had to tell them, like, they demoted me, I can't do that anymore, like, I can't go do that, I can't approve this, I can't do that for you. So he kept cutting my hours down. I was down to like 15 hours a week. I ended up losing my insurance because they don't provide medical insurance unless you're full-time. So I went so many weeks without being full-time, they took my insurance away, which was awesome after I just had a child. Then he was getting transferred, so they were doing it to him, and I tried to apply for the management position at our store because I had worked there for so long already. I knew everything the managers did because like all the past managers would let me do stuff. And he basically laughed at me behind my back for even attempting to apply for that position. That was like inching forward to me just being like, fuck everything, I'm sick of this place, this company sucks. Then he came to fill in at our store a few weeks after he got transferred to a different store because we still didn't have a manager at the time. They like didn't want to hire me for some reason for the management position, and they were having a hard time getting someone from a different store to come be our manager. So he filled in at our store, and he got mad that I left the vendor invoices for him to do when he came in, because you're supposed to take the Telzon gun and scan everything in and make sure that the vendor, like the milk vendor and the chip vendor and everything, like we had milk, bread, chips. Sorry, it was a friggin' landscaping company. I don't know why those people come door to door and need a no soliciting sign. Anyway, okay, so where did I leave off now? Yeah, so I left the invoices for him to scan, and he got all pissed off. So I was in the back of the store when he came in that day, and the invoices were left at the front. And I guess he looked at them. I heard him say to one of the cashiers at the front, "Oh, did she magically forget how to do these?" I was like, yeah, when I magically got demoted, not my job description anymore. He was like, in addition to being an asshole, he was always just super weird. Like for Christmas, the year that I think we only had him for like a year and a half, but the year that he had just got there, for Christmas he gave me a sweater, which is like, it's just really weird, an odd gift to get from your boss, especially someone you don't know that well. Then when he left our store, like after he had been gone for a while, he tried to follow me on Facebook, like not even friend request, just follow. Like I got an email notification saying blank blank has followed you, and I'm like, what? Why is he like doing this? So I blocked him. I blocked his wife. I have a friend who knew his wife just through Facebook. Like it was really weird that like we started talking to each other, and she's like, you know so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, that's my asshole boss's wife. You know her? I hope you're not good friends with her. And like, they're not close or anything, but she was like, yeah, I knew her from some, it was like an online board or something that she was on. And I guess she had said, she had talked shit about me to her, and like I had never even met his wife, which was so ridiculous. It was just really weird. And then we found out later that he ended up getting fired from that store that he was transferred to for stealing lottery tickets, which is like the stupidest thing to steal from the store, because that shit is logged every single day, how many were sold, how many were cashed in, blah blah blah. Such an idiot. So when he left, we were left without a manager again. Like I said, they were having trouble finding someone, despite the fact that I tried to apply for the job, because if I had gotten that, then I would have been making a lot more money, and Steven could have gone down to part-time, and I was totally willing to take on the responsibility of being a manager, but they didn't want me, so fuck them. our assistant manager, who's a really nice guy, I still talk to him all the time, he was like going insane. He was starting to lose it because he had all this responsibility now. He never wanted to be a manager. He was just an assistant manager for years and years, and he was like over it. We kept telling him to just ask for a promotion and be the manager for our store, but he didn't want to do it. We ended up with a guy who, like, he was decent when he got there. He seemed like he wanted to give me my shift supervisor job back. But then they ended up hiring, I think it was like against his will, they ended up hiring a part-time supervisor who was a girl that used to work there, that was a cashier with me. But that was what the guy before had told me, oh, we can't have part-time supervisors, so you can't be a supervisor anymore. So that whole situation pissed me off again. He started stealing after that, so we were like, oh. He would go out with like the big plastic totes of merchandise to his car and make out like he was transferring the merchandise to other stores and like he was gonna go deliver it, but we found out later that he was just stealing, and he was always lying. Like, we started to think that he was in the mob or something. He would lie about being late, saying his daughter was sick, but then we found out that his daughter lives in Florida with his wife, his ex-wife. He stopped showing up for work after being there for a few months. He wasn't there very long. And then we had inventory shortly after, where they come and count everything, and our inventory was $50,000 short. So, like, stolen merchandise out the window. He got away with so much. I don't know if they ever caught him. I don't think they did. I don't know whatever happened to him, so he's a mystery. And then we were out without a manager for a little while again. They brought in some girl that was just a total bitch. I was over it at that point. She kept cutting my hours too, so I just kind of like, I was down to like 10 hours a week, so I just stopped showing up for my shifts, and it was kind of like a mutual goodbye. It wasn't, I got fired, it wasn't, I quit, it was like, I'm sick of this. And she was probably sick of me not showing up for my shifts, but why did you cut me down to 10 hours? It wasn't worth it for me, because I was living here at the time, going all the way back to the town that I used to live in, which is 30 miles away, so just for gas back and forth every day, and to only be working 10 hours a week wasn't worth it. So that was when I left my job and was kind of freaking out, but not really, because I knew I wanted to do something and work for myself. That's when I started, shortly after I started doing the transcription work, and then about a year or so after that I started doing Pretties for Your Face. So it worked out well in the end. I'm glad I don't work there anymore, because it was so stressful, like starting right after Halloween until after New Year's. So like this time of the year always starts making me be very grateful that I'm not working in retail anymore, because it was just hectic and hell, and like people are horrible to you when you work with the public. There were some really awesome customers that we had, but there were some like shitheads, and I have a whole video I want to do about customer interactions, which if you liked this one, I'm hoping you did, let me know in the comments, give me a thumbs up, and I will continue and do the other couple of videos that I have planned for this series, I guess you would call it. So that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this, my little stories about working in retail. I'm sorry like the lighting isn't the greatest. I have my lamp on me now, but it's not like sunny out or anything nice today, so it's like half sunny, half cloudy. But I will talk to you guys in my next video.